Lead impeachment manager Jamie Raskin delivered a powerful argument today as he described the attack on the Capitol. Congressman Raskin's words will air in full on Rachel Maddow's show in just a few minutes. For her reaction to what we saw today, I'm joined by Democratic Congresswoman Rashida Tlaib of Michigan. Congresswoman, what was your impression of today's proceedings?
No, I'm incredibly proud of the leadership of Representative Raskin and so many others that are really, truly putting the love of country first. One of the most passionate speeches I've heard where he talks about democracy is personal, and it is. I mean, Chris, for my district alone, they were intentionally trying to throw out Black votes right here in Detroit. And so for us, it was extremely personal that they were trying to use white supremacist rhetoric, trying to use that kind of racist tone and these conspiracy theories that led to the violence of January 6th. And so Raskin is right. This is extremely personal and extremely about, very much about us being able to keep our right to have a voice at all levels of government and especially, again, pushing back against that violence that we saw on January 6th.
Now, one of the arguments presented by the lawyers, which was a stitched-together video, is actually a reprise of what they did back a year ago. And the basic argument is Democrats have always wanted to impeach the guy. They wanted to impeach him, and they looked for an excuse. That's sort of the argument. You featured twice in it. We sort of spliced together your appearances. I want to play it for you and get your reaction. Take a listen.
Because we're going to go in there, we're going to impeach the mother.
I'm here at an impeachment rally, and we are ready to impeach them.
What's your reaction to that?
I mean, I was right. This is a person that's been lawless. Not only that, it's a crooked billionaire running his businesses out of the White House. He was absolutely committing impeachable offenses. This primary impeachment that you see before the Senate right now to convict him is for the violence on January 6th. But for many of us, especially here in my district, we have saw that it was extremely corrupted, that they were putting the Trump organization first. They were putting the for-profit organization, his businesses, before the people's business, and making sure that, again, folks were staying at the Trump Hotel to do all this. And again, many of us didn't wait for him to bribe a foreign government, nor did we wait in the 13th Congressional District for a white supremacist attack on our Capitol. We knew what he was about, and we called him out on it from day one.
What is the sentiment in the House caucus? Obviously, this now moves. This is in the Senate. Your colleagues are working there, but there is a lot that has to happen right now with COVID relief and the like in the House, and also the aftermath of that attack with a majority of your Republican colleagues who voted to overturn the election. What are things like over in the other chamber right now?
I mean, we've been extremely busy. I mean, I represent the third poorest congressional district. I've been very much active on Financial Services Committee, House Oversight Committee, working even just today, meeting with staff on Ways and Means Committee, talking about how do we make sure that this relief hits the ground quickly. And many of us have been laser focused on that, but as well as trying to protect our democracy, making sure that we hold the forever impeached president accountable. We can't look away. Yes, he's not president right now, but Chris, this again sets a dangerous precedent if we don't hold them accountable. It's like a doctor that maybe harmed a patient. If the person doesn't become a doctor anymore, it doesn't mean that we can't allow the person to have recourse and hold that doctor accountable. It's the same thing with the president. I don't want to see this happen again, and we need to use every resource possible and convict this president again for the violence they caused. People were hurt, they were harmed, people died because of his insightfulness and continued conspiracy that led to the violence of January 6th. But know this, I don't think there's anybody, as well as myself and others, that aren't as well, again, laser focused on making sure that we get COVID relief to our families. They are so extremely tired of waiting for vaccination distribution to be equitable, to get direct payments of $2,000, and we're still fighting to make sure that that's reoccurring monthly payments. So just know that relief is coming. We have not stopped that work, but at the same time, we're not going to hold back and, again, holding this president accountable.
Final question for you, because you mentioned this, and it strikes me as important, which is that the people in your district were the subject of the plot in some ways. I mean, multiple levers of the Republican Party, the majority of Republican colleagues, the president, wanted essentially to throw their votes out. They voted for president, and they wanted to vote to overturn it, and that remains the case. No one's apologized for that, as far as I can tell.
No, and the racist tone, I mean, it was very obvious they were focused on Black and brown communities, Black and brown precincts. They intentionally mentioned the city of Detroit, even though if you look at some of the audits that have been done, we have done far better than any other communities outside of the city. And so it is so important to realize that they were using, again, that white supremacist kind of rhetoric to feed into the conspiracy theories, again, that fed into the violence that you saw. I mean, these are people that came with a Confederate flag, Chris.
Yeah.
They, tore up this beautiful tribute outside of Leader Hoyer's office of John Lewis. I mean, these are people, again, that were listening to this forever impeached president and telling them, yeah, target the Black and brown votes. Understand there's fraud there. And again, it's so don't deserve anything less than holding this president accountable for the violence that he caused on January 6th and the harm and pain that he caused in trying to jeopardize our democracy in this country.
Congresswoman Rashida Tlaib of the great city of Detroit, thank you for your time tonight. That is all in on this Thursday evening. The Rachel Maddow Show starts right now. Good evening, Rachel.